Hello. Okay, so I'm Meg. Clearly, you can tell that. Okay, so I was born in Oklahoma in a small town, tight-knit community called Claremore. And I graduated from a public school called Ulaga Talala. I'm number 3 of 4 out of my siblings. My oldest brother is 23, my sister's 22, I'm 21, and Jasmine's 19, who's sitting in the front row over there. We've always been really close and became each other's best friends. I was born and raised in the small town church, the same small town church, my entire life. I grew up knowing my mom and dad's faith. I was not a quiet child growing up, which is weird. But I did not know a stranger, and I would go up to anybody and make them my best friend. But in middle school, I kind of grew out of that a little, but still adored people and wanted to be around them all the time. I desired friendships and wanted to people please all the time. I still have a problem with that, but we're working on it. But it felt a little colder. The kids around me would start going through like dark times, and so not everyone would want someone who's always there, just like, hey, be my best friend. But I tried my best to be a light because the Lord made me a people-loving person. High school, going into freshman year, I built friendships, made a bunch of fun memories, and I was hopeful for the next 3 years of high school. Freshman year, I met this guy named Eli. We were not very close, but we would talk every now and then, so we knew of each other. We knew enough. But I knew he did not know the Lord, and he was living in a lot of darkness. You could just see it on his face, and he was trying to, like, shove it down. Didn't matter as much. It does, though. But one day, he DM'd me on Instagram, and he was just pouring out his problems, and he then stated that he was contemplating suicide. At that moment, I had no idea what I was saying. I just knew the Holy Spirit took over, and I just spoke what the Lord told me to speak. But he was so alone, and the darkness around him seemed to consume him. And I was so scared because I could see the potential in his life, but he could not. I went to my counselor at the time in high school and updated her on what was happening just in case something were to happen. And a day later, Eli came up to me and was like yelling at me, asked why I would tell the counselor, and yeah, my heart broke. I thought that was the tip of the iceberg. I was like, shoot, like I was just like freaking out. But there was like speculation, like for a long time, that he would like move just because he never fit in at Ulaga. And so one day people were like, oh yeah, he moved. So I lost contact with him, which was really heartbreaking, and I just had to like give it to the Lord because I couldn't do anything at that point, and it was just really hard to do that. But I knew that the Lord used me on Instagram to help him when he needed it. But 2.5 years later, so I don't know, sophomore, junior year, I actually don't know if it was 2.5 years later, but it was a while after, I went to Chick-fil-A with a friend, and I saw this really bright, bubbly, radiant smile of a worker walking around, and it was Eli, and it was just crazy because I'm just picturing it, and it was just like so sweet because I've never saw him in like that radiant, glowing. It was amazing. And he saw me, he ran up to me, sat across from me, and we were just talking for hours. He said that he got off like an hour ago, but somehow he was still there, and I was like, well, that was the Lord. It was just really cool. And he was telling me, he was just like, I love life. Like, I love this job I have. And it was just really sweet to see, like, the brighter side of somebody. And it was just really cool. And he was just, like, thanking me for being there because he had nobody. But I just told him, I was like, that was the Lord. Like, the Lord told me what to say. That's not for me. But Eli is a huge reason why I'm going into psychology to become a counselor. To see the brighter side of someone after seeing them in such darkness, and it's just something I'll never forget. And at times when things get hard, I start thinking about like, why am I majoring in psychology? I have to write so many papers. I got to figure out what's wrong with a lot of things. But I remember I go back to Eli, and I'm like, that's the reason, to see like the brighter side of somebody. And I just wish you saw it because it was just so crazy. That's what Jesus could do to you. So, although I'm not sure what he's doing now, but I just know that he's in a better place, and he's mentally amazing, and it's just great. But at that time, I did not know how to really comfort someone going through something like that. I was only 14, so the Lord really took over there because I was not very wise, but the Lord was, so that's good. But seeing the bright, joyful face on someone who once had a lost soul, I just can't get over it. But from then on, I knew I wanted to be a counselor, no matter what it looked like, no matter how hard it got, no matter if the thoughts in my head were just like, you should maybe try something else. I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. Okay, so that was freshman year. Sophomore year of high school, I was at 15 years old. The year of 2020, whoa, I got in a really emotionally and spiritually abusive relationship that ended in a protective order. He was a senior and I was a sophomore. We went to the same school. And I knew of him and would hear like questionable things about his character. And we met through friends and began to form somewhat of a friendship. I don't know. But it was just crazy because then we started talking more, and I would start feeling like a little more, he would make me feel like really dumb and stupid all the time, and everything I said didn't matter, and so I just kind of like fell into this boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and I didn't really have a choice, but so I thought I did have a choice, but I was 15, so it was just crazy because it was just crazy. He was just like, everything I said was like not important, and I would mention like, hey, we should just be friends, like I don't really want this, but like he would just get super, super, super angry, and I was always so scared that he would hit me. He never did, but I was just always so scared. So I'd shove all of my emotions down, and just like I became completely numb, no emotions, just sure, yeah, it's great. And it was just really heartbreaking because I was this bubbly, happy person, and then I just randomly just went completely numb, and just I felt so stuck, and I was scared to leave, and yeah, it was just a little crazy for a 15-year-old. But one day in choir, I had the same class as my brother. He was also a senior, and he also knew who this dude was and his intentions. But I felt more drained than ever, and so I went back to a practice room, which is soundproof, so that's really great, because I was just crying. But my brother came in, and at the time, we didn't really have, like, a relationship, and so I was just like, what are you doing in here? Like, you're not supposed to care. Like, we don't have a relationship. But I knew when he walked in, I had to tell him everything. So I told him everything about everything that's happening, and he did not show any kind of judgment or shame or disgrace, he gave me love and support and told me what to do in my next step, and it was literally crazy. That's the reason why we have a relationship now, and I love him very dearly. But he helped me talk to my parents because I didn't tell my family about this. I told them everything, which was crazy that I didn't tell them. I was just like, I don't really want to tell them this. I'm too scared to leave. I don't know what's going to happen if I tell him and he's just not happy with it. I don't know. I was so scared and stuck. I could not see any light. It was just not a good time. But I texted him. I was like, we're done talking. Like, my brother helped me. He was like, just tell him you're done talking to him. I was like, okay, like, you're here, you're protecting me, I guess. And then my brother told him to stay away. He was like, you better not talk to her or look at her, all this stuff, because he knew I was scared and he knew his intentions and stuff. But one day, he decided to disrupt my class at the time to give me a letter, which is a little weird. But the letter was just like really, really creepy and unsettling for me and my mom, and basically my whole family, obviously. But he was just, in the letter he wrote that we have many chapters in our story and that it's not done and I can't wait to live life with you and naming our future kids. It was a lot for a 15-year-old. It was crazy. And so I don't remember a lot from that letter. I just remember that part. I think it's my brain protecting me from what else was in there. But I just knew it was very unsettling. And my mom was like, we need to get a protective order, because we were both so scared that he would literally just take me. Like, it was so serious that I thought he was just going to take me. It was crazy. It was just crazy. But no one in high school knew the full story. No one needed to. Like, I can't sit down and talk to them about everything that's going on because, well, they're high schoolers, But it was really crazy because once it got out that, like, that this happened, but no one really knew about the protective order. They were just like, why the freak did she date him? Like, what is wrong with her? But it's okay. We've forgiven those people, right? But they would make assumptions and judge, and it caused breaks in every friendship that I've had, even friends from pre-K, which is just really, really difficult. And everyone took his side on everything. You know, he said that I was the crazy one and I was the one that caused problems and all this stuff. And it was really heartbreaking because I was alone. Like, I felt so alone at school. And it was just like really hard because I didn't have anybody. But my family was my rock. Jesus was my rock. My gosh, if I didn't have my family, I don't know what would have happened, y'all. It's crazy. But so this was the year 2020. So that relationship was a month. Isn't that crazy? 1 month, that all happened. It's so insane. But so that happened around like spring break. Everyone knows spring break, right? Okay. No, we all were talking about like the protective order and stuff, and how like it would be so hard to go back to school. And although like the pandemic and social distancing was really hard for so many people, it saved my life because I felt so alone and dark that I was contemplating suicide. And I do not think I would be here if we did not have that break. It was a very, very, very dark time. But a little while, I want to say like a year after all of this, a year and a half maybe. So like the middle of junior year. I was still struggling with the aftermath of everything. I still was lost. I was still emotionless. And I still couldn't trust anybody. And I was just so overwhelmed with shame and regret, brokenness, and my emotions were gone. And it was not a fun time. But there's this dear couple from my church who I love and adore, and they've watched me grow up. They spoke their testimony on Sunday in front of the whole church. And the one thing I got from it is the truth will set you free. And my gosh, is that true? I was trying not to talk to anybody about what I went through because no one knows me like that at church. Like, I put on a front. I was just like, oh yeah, woo. But I was like breaking inside. But it kept spiraling in my head. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. And I felt the Lord nudging me like, you need to talk about this. Like, bring it to the light. Stop putting it in the darkness. And I was just like, okay. And so I talked to my youth group. I got on stage, spoke this story to my youth group, and it was crazy because they never known a side like that. They were like, what, Meg? No. But I was just like, yeah. Yeah, it happens. But anyways, the more I spoke and the more I was just talking about the story, the more lighter and lighter I felt. I felt more free. I felt my emotions coming back as I was speaking, and it was just like, it was so crazy because I didn't feel like shame anymore, and it was just like crazy because it was weighing me down. And that's why I harp on speaking your testimony, because it'll literally set you free. And it was crazy because as I was speaking, I was like, I'm doing this for myself. Like, I need to heal. But my youth pastor came up to me after this, and she was just like, you have helped me through things that I didn't even realize I needed help with. Like, you've helped me with my past. I was like, what? I'm literally only 15. You're all older than I am. Are you sure I did that? But it was the Lord. Like, you don't know what your testimony is doing for other people. And so I highly recommend speaking about it. But it was just like, it was just crazy. I don't even know how to begin to explain, like, the lighter I felt. And it came to the point where after I went to my dad and I was like, I'm back. And it was so true. I was back. I was back to this bubbly, happy, it was a good time. But, okay, so I graduated high school. I don't talk to anybody from my high school because it was a crazy time. But, so I graduated. And I did not want to go to college. I thought I was really stupid, to be honest. I really thought I was. ACT doesn't matter as much as you think. Just throwing that out there. But I did not want to go to college. I had no hope to. I didn't care to go. But I mentioned like once to my dad, I was like, volleyball would be cool. Like, that would be fun. But I was like, whatever. And so my dad and Jasmine went to this band thing at our football field, which we never go to because we're all full of athletes. Although I love band, props to band, I love band, but we just didn't go. And there was a Coffeyville Community College booth for their band, and my dad was like, let's talk to this guy about the volleyball coach's email. I'm like, what? I wasn't even there. I don't even want to go to college, okay. But he was just like, hey, what's the coach's email? And he just gave it to him. And then like a week later, I practiced with the team, and offered me a spot. It was a full ride. It was just like, what is happening? All of this within a week. And I was just like, okay, well, clearly this is God, because I didn't even want to go. And so it was just, the Lord was all over it, and it was just really cool. And so I started to go to Coffeyville Community College. It was a 2-year, and I was super excited to play on the volleyball team because I love volleyball. Anyone who knows me knows that I freaking love volleyball. Anyways, and so when volleyball started, we did 3-a-days. Isn't that crazy? That's a lot. But I noticed that like I was the only one who really knew the Lord. I realized that this school is a really like a party school. And I was just like, wow, like I don't really fit in here. This is kind of uncomfortable. And I was just like, I knew the Lord brought me there. And so I knew, I was hopeful. I was just like, I know that you brought me here. And so I'm going to hold on to that. I know this is from you, even though like I didn't agree with what they did. And so I felt a little out of place. But relationally, it was dark and lonely. I've been praying for friends and faithful friends since high school. And so I was hopeful for Coffeyville, but it was relationally dark and lonely because there was not faithfully loves God people. And it was just crazy. And my roommates, I had 3 roommates in 2 years, and they were just they were very disrespectful in all ways possible. Bringing guys unannounced all the time. It's fine. No, it's not. But eventually I got my own room because I could not handle that. But so I was like alone because I was in my own room and I didn't hang out with anybody because, well, I didn't agree with what they did. And so I tried to still be a light, even though like I wasn't poured in the way that I was pouring into others. And so it was just kind of hard to like keep going. But I knew Jesus used me on campus through the team. Even though it was really hard, he still made room. He was just like, you need to be a light. You have to keep going. Like, just trust me. Like, I have things for you. Like, don't think about how much darkness is around you. Like, just look at me. And it was really cool. He used me to speak in front of people, and it was just like, it was a cool time. And he was there. The Lord poured life into me and hope into my life when no one else around me was pouring it into me. And so he became everything. He is still everything. And it was just really cool. So the volleyball coach, she would tell me all the time, like, you're the starting setter, you're the starting setter, you're the starting setter. To the team, to all the setters, you're the starting setter. And I never started. I never did. But she would keep telling me, like, starting setter, you got it, you're so good. And I'm just like, okay, I really believe you this time. But we're working on the gullible part, you know. Don't believe everything everyone says. But I was hopeful, and I laid everything on the court every single practice, and it still was not good enough. But the Lord was just like, I got you. Just, like, keep holding on, keep looking at me. And it was just crazy. So my first year of college there at Coffeyville, I had like this weird thing in my throat. I don't even know. It was just like complete sharp pain, like someone was stabbing me like right where my pulse is. So that's kind of crazy. But it was just like, it was terrifying. My mom would be like, your face goes pale white, and you just start crying. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know I did that. But it was like, it happened when I laughed, cried, talked, yelled, whispered, anything. I didn't know what triggered it, but it was only for a split second. But it was so terrifying because I need my throat, you know. But I talked to my coach about it, and I was just like, hey, like, this thing is going on. My appointment's in 2 weeks. I can't give you my all right now because I need to figure out what's going on. And she's like, yeah, sure, like, just keep me updated. And I was like, okay, cool. And we were at postseason, so we didn't, like, do anything crazily intense. Everyone was just, like, more chill. But then she called me in her office the next week, and so my appointment's next week. And she was like, I need to know if you're all in. And I was just like, oh. I was like, I just told you, like, I can't be all in right now. I need to figure out what's going on with my throat. It's really excruciating pain. And she was just like, well, if you want to be the starting setter. And I was just like, are you flipping kidding me? There's no way you're telling me this right now. Because I was so mad. But we've forgiven her, you know. But I was just like, I can't I have an appointment next week. I don't know. And she's like, I need to know by tomorrow. I was like, okay. And so I was pouring out my heart to my friend at the time. I was just like, I don't know what to do. So I had to take a step back from volleyball. I decided to quit. And I was just like, thank you for your time. But anyways, so I graduated from Coffeyville, and I loved graduating there. It was just super fun. Had a lot of people there. It was really great. And I realized I wanted to go to a 4-year because you need that to be a counselor, you know? And so I went to get my bachelor's. I had no idea where. I was just like, going to do it. And my older sister, she went to Oklahoma Christian, that's like 20 minutes from here. And Jasmine already committed here. And I knew I wanted to go to a Christian college because I did not want to experience the same things as I did at Coffeyville. It was just not fun. But so I knew I wanted to go to Christian college. And so this was, I was here or Oklahoma Christian. And my older sister, Jocelyn, she was like, yes, like, come to Oklahoma Christian. Like, you can be my roommate and here are all your friends. And so I had this whole life planned out at Oklahoma Christian. And so I was like, well, this is where I need to go. Like, this is obviously the easier route. Like, it's great. Like, I have a life there. I have community there that I've always wanted. And I clearly have great friends. Like, this is where I want to go. And then I toured SNU, and I was just like, okay. I was like, this is the problem. I just felt so drawn to this place, the community, the atmosphere. It was just crazy. And I was just like, I need to go here. How do I let my sister know? I don't want to let her down. It was just like a whole thing. I literally was crying. I was like, I have to go here, but I have a whole life there already. It was just crazy. And now I realize that the reason why I kept being pulled to SNU is because my lovely roommate and her amazing family were praying for her roommate, and they were just like, Lord, I pray that. So her prayers were pulling me to SNU, and it was just like, it was really sweet. Love you, Braylee. But yeah, it was really cool. And so I ended up going to SNU, and my gosh, I don't know what I would have done if I chose OC, because I love it here. But so yes, I came into SNU, I gave my friendships, everything, my relationships, all of it to the Lord, because I was just like, I'm not doing it the same as last time. Like, I'm giving it to you. Like, I surrender it. I don't care how it turns out. Like, here, like, I don't want it, and because it's too stressful. And so I gave it to him, and I just trusted that he would provide after all these years, after the prayers and prayers and prayers. And I knew he's a faithful God and a promising God. And so I just kept, every day I was like, Lord, I give it to you. I give it to you, even though it was stressful at times. But excuse me, I know, I knew that if I wanted the community, I always wanted, I will have to give it to God first and rely on him for wisdom and discernment on which friendships to keep and which ones are like, yeah, you know. And so NSI was really promising, because it was an automatic community. You were automatically thrown into a community, and you had a family, and it was really great. And I've always longed for that, and so it was really hopeful. Throughout high school, I did not have that, and so it was really hopeful. I immediately made connections with awesome people, and although I don't talk to my NSI group anymore, it was still exactly what I wanted when I needed it. It was an answered prayer. And the Lord gave me a glimpse of what my life could look like here, and it was really sweet. It was really sweet of him to do that. But I was really hopeful for what was to come with SNU. And so giving God my friendships gave me peace and calmness going into SNU. I knew that no matter who or what came in and out, I knew that God would keep his promises. I just had to keep my eyes on him and not focus on what I did not have or what I wish I wanted or all this stuff. I was like, Lord, I know that you have a beautiful plan, because why would you leave your daughter here stranded with no friends? Like, it's really sad, and he's not like that. And so when there was people I met but would not stick around, it was hard to move on and let go, because I was just like, oh, maybe this one or maybe this one. But he was just like, no, daughter, like, it's not for you yet. And I was like, okay, I'm still really hopeful. But that's where I could not lean on my own understanding, because we would fall. Don't lean on your own understanding, because you will fall every single time. But I needed to focus on Jesus, who had answers and who could see like the aerial view of my life, and I could only see what was in front of me and all the no's and all the no, I'm okays. And it was really hard adjusting to the friends that the Lord provided, because I was at a constant state of defending myself in high school and in Coffeyville. I would assume that when people would invite me to places, I'd be like, oh, they're just like setting me up to make fun of me or something. It was really hard to be I was just like, Lord, I need help trusting these people because I know you provided them, but I was just like, I don't want to be a butt end of the joke anymore. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of just not being like what I want to be to other people. And so it was really hard, but I trusted the Lord. And he provided the friends and community I've always dreamed of. Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh. But coming here has been nothing but promises and blessings and answered prayers. And all the prayers I oh my goodness. All the prayers I prayed were answered here at SNU by Jesus. The amazing people I've met are all blessings, even the ones who have walked out. It's just been overwhelmingly amazing. And this is why I wanted to be an NSI mentor this year, because I was given a community I've never had, and I wanted it to be for someone else. I was like, Lord, I want to give the community to people who also wanted it like I did when I was in their shoes. And I was just like, Lord, I need you, like, I'm praying for my group. Like, I really want to connect with them. I just want them to know, like, I'm here, and I want the best for them and all this stuff. And it was really cool, because he provided an amazing NSI group. So shout out, because I flippin' love them. And I hope they know how much they're loved and seen by God, and you're literally never alone. Oh my goodness, you're never alone. And it was just an answered prayer. And I just hope they know, like, you have a community here. But looking back on my life and what I walked through, I know the Lord was with me through it all. Even though it seemed like he wasn't there, I know that he was there, because when I look back, his footprints are everywhere. His fingerprints are everywhere. He was just there, because I'm still standing here today. And it was just so cool. He was just right there holding my hand. And I know, looking back, he was whispering, like, his still small voice, his peaceful voice, be patient. Just look at me. I will provide. You're almost there. Just keep going. Like, I got you. I'm holding your hand. And it was just so cool. And it was just so sweet to look back and just reminisce. Just like, wow, I look back and I just kind of like giggle at it. I'm like, wow, I almost lost it there, didn't I? But I was just like, wow, God, you used that for your good. Like, you got the glory. And it was just so sweet. But I need to say that if you are ever feeling stuck in a situation, I don't care if it's a relationship or a sport or emotionally, if you feel stuck, I promise you're not as stuck as you think you are. Because God is not a God of stuck. Because why would he do that? That's not any of his attributes or anything. Like, what? And so I just, like, no matter how dark your tunnel looks or how long your tunnel looks, and you're just like, wow, I really can't see the end here. Wish I could see the light at the end, but I can't. It's really far down there. But the Lord is saying, like, I'm right here. The door is right there. Just a few more steps. You have no idea when your miracle is going to be. You have no idea when your answered prayer will be. Because, well, if we knew, we'd probably mess it up. Because I knew if I was here and if I knew back then this place existed, I would probably mess it up. Do not lean on your own understanding, right? Yeah. And so he was just like, I know, like, I felt like I was in a dark, dark, dark tunnel. And it was just like, he was just like, I am right here. Like, I am the door. Like, walk with me. Like, you're a few steps ahead. Like, just one more year. Like, you got this. He was just, like, rooting for me. And it was a great time to being rooted by God. And you were rooted by God every single day. It was just really cool. It was super sweet. You are never alone. Your story is not over. If you ever have any crazy, harmful thoughts, your story is not over, because he's going to use that and glorify him, and you're going to be great after that, because the Lord is good and promising. Whoa. And just look to Jesus. His gaze is always on you. His eyes are just like not looking down at you, because that's also not his character, but he's just like, child, I'm right here. Daughter, son, like, I'm right here. I'm your father. Like, please just reach out to me, and I want to give you all these things I've stored up for you, all these good things I've stored up for you. Like, please just look to me. I will guide you. Please. I'm not going to let you fall like everyone else in your life has. Like, I am different. I make promises and I keep them, and I don't make you feel stupid all the time. Like, I'm literally here. Just say, hi, Jesus, and I'm literally there. And he just wants to walk with you through life as a friend, a father, a light, anything that you want him to be. He is literally right there wanting to hold your hand. Like, I don't care if you're a hand holder type of person, if you're not a physical touch person, he's still going to be right there, right next to you, just standing right here. He's like, I got you. Look, just follow me. Follow my footsteps. I look back, and I know my footprints were not behind me. It was literally all him. He was carrying me. Like, my gosh, I could not have done that by myself because that was just a crazy time. But I just know that the Lord was there, and I know that the Lord is here for you, and know that no matter what you're going through, he has a purpose and a plan for each and every one of you. If I could say all your names, I would, but I can't because I don't know all of them. But I know the Lord knows your name and wants to know, he knows your heart, and he wants you to know that you have so much purpose and so much plan for your life. It's if only you knew. You just have to keep holding on to faith and keep holding on to him and his hand, because he knows every piece of your heart, the broken, the shattered, the ugly, the terrifying pieces of your heart that you don't want to show. Like, he knows all of it, and he wants you to bring it to light, because in the light, like, there's no darkness. Like, you don't want darkness. That's scary. I hate the dark. It's terrifying. So don't be in the darkness. Run to the light. Just run to Jesus, please, because he is literally the ultimate savior. And that is all. So